most school parking lots, particularly in the teacher parking lot, you're bound to find Toyotas, Subarus, Nissans, for the particularly sustainability minded, maybe a Prius or two. And it makes sense, right? These cars are practical. They are easy to maintain, they're affordable. But every once in a while you get that rare chance to ride in a true classic car. I'm Tim Backlund, head of Waring School, and this is Teachers in Cars Getting Coffee.
Hey.
Hey, John, is this you?
Well, who else? You called me. It's John.
John, it's Tim. Hope you're doing well. You done with class?
Yeah, I knew it was you. You came up on my screen.
All right. What do you think? You in the mood for coffee?
Always.
My guest today is no other than John Ferrick, a legendary teacher here on the North Shore who made his way to Waring School after establishing himself as a longtime master teacher in the Ipswich school system. John Ferrick has been around the block and back again, now having taught the children of the children he had back in the 1970s. He's a class act educator, a lover of jazz and great music, the father of alternative rock legend Melissa Ferrick, and he's a connoisseur of coffee and cars.
Hey, after 4 months of talking, without knowing how we kiss.
Well, it's a classic, first of all. It's a classic. 1985, you told me?
85. The 1985 Mercedes 300D turbo diesel. Conservative even by German standards, these iconic cars need no introduction, and with 2.7 million made over 10 years, they're still plentiful among automotive enthusiasts, including Waring School teacher Anna Marie Smith, a future guest on this show who's loaned us her car today. Pricing for this model began at $31,000, and those were 1980s dollars. This 300D Benz is powered by an overhead cam 5-cylinder turbocharged engine offering 125 horsepower. What this vintage beauty doesn't deliver in speed and acceleration is more than made up for in its timeless look and feel and its unrivaled Mercedes elegance.
Late nights and bottles talk. But I'm all set.
So what do you think of the car?
Well, I like the car. I'm, like I said to you before, it's a classic. It's a little underpowered, which kind of makes me feel. I mean, the classic, I can see the identification with me. The underpowered, I don't know. but I do like being a classic.
You are a
And I'm older.
Well, we weren't going to talk about age, right?
No, we don't want to do that.
You play sports growing up?
I sure did. Played a lot of sports. Played every sport you can imagine for a long time. Ended up going to college to play tennis, believe it or not.
I remember hearing you were quite a tennis player.
I was, they tell me. But that was a long time ago, 1962.
Come on, Diesel, here we go. You know, I got my foot on the gas.
Well, be careful now. Don't go too fast. I like easy does it, slow and steady.
You seem really mellow. Do you still get nervous when you go in the classroom?
Always. Little nervous at the beginning of the year, and sometimes I get a little nervous because it's important, you know. I get a little nervous because I want to make sure I can do it justice, you know. I certainly want to be prepared every day. Actually, I didn't even tell you this. I don't think you know this. Maybe you know. I came to Ipswich to teach science in 1967. But when I walked into my classroom, there were all English books in there. So I said to the principal, "Hey, Bill, what's the deal? You got the wrong books in my room." He said, "No, we hired somebody else to do the science, and because you were here as a student teacher, we knew you could teach English, so we decided that you would be the English teacher." Oh, I said, well, that's good. What would have been nice to know, I might have done, because I'm a preparation. I like to always be prepared. So,
I know, that's
yeah.
Mr.
So
Prep.
Anyway,
Mrs. Cahill reminded me the other day of the bird story.
oh.
Now, you're not a teacher.
Will I ever live that down?
You're not someone who's late for class very often.
One time.
You missed a whole class, right?
No, I made it to the last 5 or 10 minutes, and someone had drawn a picture of a bird on the board when I walked in. As a matter of fact, that bird story has followed me around since, I think it was 2003 or 4 when I was here, when I did the bird
This
thing.
is at Waring, though, right?
Yeah, it was at Waring. What happened was I was driving through the marshes in Raleigh, Newbury, and then into Raleigh.
Sure.
But just as I got into Raleigh, I looked off to my right into the little salt pan there, and I saw a bird that I didn't recognize. Now, you do realize that I was an interpreter for Crane Beach for 25 years.
I do realize that.
So, I mean, I know about birds. And I know, yeah. So I look, and I don't know what this bird is. So I decided I would watch it for a while, wait around just to see if anybody else showed up, any other bird had showed
Sure.
up. But the only thing that showed up was my phone rang in my pocket. It was
You were late for class.
It was Miss Cahill. She said, "Are you coming? Are you planning on coming today?" And of course, then I looked at my watch and I realized I had been in the marsh for about 35, 40 minutes. So yes, I was late for class. By the way, the bird,
Distracted by a bird.
yeah, but the bird was a sandhill crane, which is a very unusual bird to be in the Raleigh, Newbury marshes, and I have never seen one since. That was a one-off, a one and only. I like winged things.
You like winged things, huh?
Yeah, winged.
Well, winged things. You don't wing things, but you like winged things. You certainly
Although
don't wing class.
I do wing things also. I got in trouble one time for throwing a piece of chalk. I didn't really throw it. I just lobbed it.
This is at Waring in class?
No, it was in Ipswich, but way back when. Kid wasn't paying attention. I had a little nub of chalk, and I just kind of lobbed it over, and it bounced on his desk. And
You can't get away with that.
I know I couldn't get away with it then. So somebody said you could have hit him in the eye. I said, no, I wasn't aiming for his eye. Just kind of lob it onto the desk. But anyway,
There might not be any hard and fast rules, but they say you're supposed to avoid
yeah,
throwing projectiles.
throwing things at kids. Yeah, I know. But again, it was like 1968, so I don't know. It was good though. The kids know when you're.
What do you think of that backup job? 1985.
Well, I'm not surprised.
I'm not even used to not having a camera. Do you have a camera in your car?
No.
You don't?
I don't, and I wished I did. I have everything else, but I don't have a camera.
Well,
Now, are we going to put the windows up or leave them down?
sure, no, we'll put them. Yeah, we'll put them up. Mercedes parked behind another Mercedes, right?
Yes, but I don't think that one sounds like this.
We're here. You ready to get some coffee, bro?
I am all about getting a little coffee.
Okay. Well, so we got a lot of options. You got the Cabot Cinema. I don't know if they sell coffee though.
No,
But
no. Can't go into a theater for a cup of coffee. Just go to a coffee shop.
I'd go to a theater with you.
I know you would. I know
How do you
would.
take your coffee?
Black.
Do you take it black?
Nothing to it. Just black, hot, but sometimes iced. Today is pretty warm. I could have an iced coffee today. That's a big decision. I'm not sure.
Today's one of those days where it's not exactly hot, but it's very humid.
Yeah, it's a lot of stick.
I'm feeling it in here. I'm feeling it in here.
A lot of mug out.
A lot of mug out?
Yeah.
I can't keep up with your expressions, man. You must have grown up in the 60s or something.
I did. Well, maybe 50s and 60s. I graduated from high school in 1962. That was a long time ago.
You ever walk down the street when someone was filming you?
Let me just think about that. I don't think so.
Not that you know of. This is like a scene from one of those Woody Allen movies.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Manhattan.
Well, that's right. That's right.
Oh, watch out.
Actually,
There's a bird.
Oh,
don't want-
there you go again. There you go with the bird thing. Now, is this the place up here?
Yeah, well, we have a reservation, John, if such a thing is possible, at a coffee shop.
Is this the door?
Yeah, coffee
Well,
roaster.
let me get the door for you.
Hey,
Go
gentlemen.
right ahead.
How often do you come downtown, get coffee, and talk about teaching?
Well, actually, it's interesting you would say that. Pretty much once a week, but not here.
Where do you go?
Newburyport, where I live.
Yeah.
I have friends there. I have friends.
Newbury. Yeah, you're one of those
I
guys.
have friends. We talk about teaching,
Yeah.
talk about lots of stuff. But one guy's a principal of a school, another guy's a teacher online, another guy's a mechanic. But he probably knows more about what doesn't work than what does, but that's another story.
What is it about Waring for you that kind of
Yeah.
differentiates
It's funny you should
What's different about wearing?
So it's funny you should say that. Once upon a time when I was teaching in public school, I was invited down to wearing school when Philip and Joe, when Philip was a headmaster.
Founders.
Because they were having a chess club competition actually, and also they had a math curriculum that he wanted me to look at. What happened was I went down and I felt at home. I just felt comfortable in the space with the people, the teachers, the kids. Everyone was really interested in learning.
What makes you tick?
Music makes me tick. I like music. I like to fill my space with sound that inspires me or moves me in some way. Or
Have you always loved music, or is it
no,
you get into it because of Melissa?
No, always. But music has always been a great interest to me, a real settler to me, a real calming effect for me. I love the music business. I used to manage some bands once upon a time.
You managed bands?
Yeah. I used to book bands.
You booked bands?
Yeah. I worked at Lenny's on the Turnpike back in the 60s, which was a great jazz room.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen everybody come through there. And when I say worked, they didn't pay me, but they let me serve sandwiches to the customers and clear tables. But I wasn't old enough. I was under 21. So
Yeah.
probably shouldn't even have been there, but I mean, I've seen everyone you can mention in the jazz world. I probably have seen there.
The students know this about you? This world of yours?
I don't usually talk about that. No, I don't think they do. They probably know my kid is a musician.
No. Well, a lot of people know Melissa.
Yeah. And Melissa, matter of fact, she was just up yesterday, and she's going to be playing in Newburyport pretty soon. Played with some fabulous musicians over the years. You know, opened for Bob Dylan. You were there.
I was maybe 17 years old, and I saw Melissa Ferrick open for Bob Dylan
Yeah.
at Endicott College, right down the street, about a half mile away.
Yeah.
What a night that was.
That was quite a night.
Late October.
I was back there with Bob.
You were with Dylan?
Yeah, of course. I was standing right next to him.
Nice guy, right? Easy to talk to?
He didn't have a lot to say. Because there was a question about whether or not the concert was going to actually happen, because the tent wasn't of the temperature it needed to be.
The tent wasn't the temperature it needed to be.
In his contract, he had a certain temperature that the tent needed to be in order for him to go on. You know, the voice. He's got such a marvelous voice that you couldn't possibly. Anyway, there was a heater that was supposed to be heating the tent, but it wasn't operational.
I remember it was a cold night.
It was a cold night.
Freezing.
I said to the promoter, let the people in the tent with
Warm up the place.
4,000 or 5,000 people here.
We waited out there for an hour and a half outside the tent.
Bring the bodies in. 98.6 times 4,000.
The concert happened, and I know Melissa had to speed her way back to the venue.
She left the venue because they told us Elvis had left the building. So anyway, that was that. But it was a great show.
She was amazing.
Yeah. The band that she had left and went back to Boston.
She
played solo.
Yeah. Well, a good thing came of it.
Yes, it did. It did. And it was nice for her to be able to say she opened for Dylan.
Any crazy stories from the classroom at wearing her before?
The time I strangled Shea Altero, but I really didn't.
Shea Altero, you strangled a student?
I didn't really strangle.
You threw projectiles at someone in Ipswich.
Yeah, right. Well, I didn't.
You missed class over a bird.
I lobbed it. I didn't throw it.
And then you strangled Shea Altero.
I pretended to strangle him.
Okay.
But as I was pretending to strangle him, because he wasn't paying attention when I was trying to get his attention,
I guess it's okay then.
Charles, what's his last name? Newman.
Yeah.
Walked by.
Yeah.
And he looked in the window, and he could see that I was
You were strangling a student.
pretending to strangle him. So later in the day, Charles came by and said to me, John, I saw you in class today strangling Shea Altero. You know, that's not the wearing way.
You are fun to have coffee
Thank
with.
you. It took me a long time to get my cup. I'm leaving with mine.
You ever find it's awkward to leave somewhere and you're trying to say goodbye, someone's opening the door, and you don't know whether that's actually where you're going to say goodbye?
Say goodbye?
Well,
That's a good phrase.
well, you're saying goodbye at the door, and then you walk through the door, and then you walk toward your car.
Uh-huh.
Then you say goodbye again. Then you go find your car, and then we
Yeah.
bump into each other at the Mobile, and you're buying some cheap diet drink, and then you
Yeah.
have to say goodbye again.
But to say goodbye just means for now. Doesn't mean forever.
That's true.
I
Au
don't think.
revoir, as they say it, wearing school. Au revoir.
It's one thing I wished I had done at Waring. I wished I had gone into the French classes when I first came, but I never thought I was going to be here as long as I've been here.
Not too late.
Oh.
You're still young.
I know.
You're 40, what, 48? Wait, 48 or so?
Well, this has been nice for me. I'm glad we did this today.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers, man.
Thank you.